Hello, everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Daily, presented to you by Fan Arch. I'm your host, Kirk MckNight, coming to you from the Pacific Northwest, 2,454 miles from Little Caesars Arena. Now, in case you didn't get your Cyber Monday fix in yesterday, I'd like to give you a Cyber Tuesday pitch. As I've mentioned before on the show, I am the author of The Voices of Hockey, Broadcasters Reflect on the Fastest Game on Earth, a book that is now available on Audible or Apple Books in an audio edition. Now, this audio edition is updated through the 23-24 season, includes 65 play-by-play broadcasters, and as opposed to the original editions, now has the Vegas Golden Knights and Seattle Kraken. Now, of those 65 broadcasters, 12 of them are Hall of Famers, and as well, you got Marv and Kenny Albert, and Gary Thorne, and Bob Costas. Hall of Famers in many other circles, but not Foster Hewitt Award winners. Still, huge voices in the game, contribute a ton to the book. So I'm just going to say it. Voices of Hockey, available on Audible, 99 cents with membership. Go out and grab it today. It's 12 hours of just hockey insanity, covering the whole league, and covers a lot of the Red Wings too. But that'll be the last of my spiel. Let's get back to the action. The Red Wings taking on the Bruins tonight. Round 2 of the away and home set. The away went to the Bruins in their home. It was a 3-2 shootout loss for the Red Wings, their first shootout loss of the season. But it was a game in which they collected a point. Now, that was a point of optimism for Red Wings fans, because the Red Wings were down a goal twice in the game and were able to tie it up both times to force the extra frame and to assure themselves at least 1 point, where they had 0 in their previous 3 games. Those 3 losses to the Devils, the Predators, and the Lightning. The last of those 2 were pretty awful losses, both 6-3 losses, both at home. So it was good to go on the road and just collect a point rather than collecting 0. Coming back for tonight, I'm going to get a little bit more into some of the subcategories of Boston, Detroit right now when we get to the Tantrum Tuesday segment of the show. But the Red Wings showed a little bit of life in them, and some of the actions that they took in reciprocity against the Bruins kind of got me thinking for a second that there may be a little budding rivalry, albeit for a season, between these 2 original 6 teams. Now, folks, before you sound the alarm and start calling me sacrilegious, I fully understand that the Bruins' dance partner as far as the rivalries go is the Montreal Canadiens. Nobody's contesting that, and we obviously know that the Red Wings have a way stronger opposition to the Blackhawks, and before them, the Maple Leafs. But traces of Saturday's game and the fire that was around it, something we'll talk about later, to me just breathed of a possible budding rivalry, albeit short term, whatever. If it happens, I've already got goosebumps thinking about it. But talking a little bit about the other teams in the division, including Boston, the Bruins are in second right now in the Atlantic, and the Red Wings, after 2 days off, still remain in 5th. It was a slow last couple of days while the Red Wings were sitting idle as far as the Atlantic goes. The only game that was on Sunday that involved an Atlantic Division team was the Senators' loss, so they didn't gain any ground on the Red Wings. And then on Monday, the Sabres, who are in the cellar, they got a win against Winnipeg. Winnipeg is really missing Hellebuck, folks. But anyway, the Sabres got a win out of that game. Really didn't change their standings much in the cellar, and the Red Wings are still over them, the Maple Leafs, and the Panthers. Tonight's game obviously has some ramifications with the Red Wings and the Bruins, but even if the Red Wings win in regulation, they still don't leapfrog the Bruins completely. But a win in regulation will definitely get them into 4th place in the division, mainly because Montreal and Ottawa are playing each other. So if one of those teams comes away with 0 points and the Red Wings come away with 2, then they already assure themselves of jumping them a slot. And then another game that doesn't necessarily or won't necessarily affect the Red Wings standings is going to be the Toronto-Florida game. Those two are both standing at 6th and 7th in the Atlantic. So win or lose Red Wings, they're still not going to get leaped by either Toronto or Florida. We're just looking at possibly jumping into 4th if it's possible before going on that 6-game road trip. Now, I had already mentioned before that I was going to get into this about Saturday night's game in this edition of Tantrum Tuesday. Now, for those of you who didn't really know what happened on Saturday night in Boston, Tanner Jeannot just totally boards Axel Sandin-Pelican right in front of the Red Wings bench of all places. And I mean, it was hard. It was a hard hit, and he took it hard. He went to the dressing room, had to recuperate a little bit, and I'll tell you that the Wings right there in that moment were pretty livid, and that all culminated in Mo going after Mark Kastelik a little later. Now, Mo didn't beat Kastelik in the fight. Kastelik is a way bigger player, and he got the last shot in and took a right to Mo and pretty much ended the discussion. But Mo actually going after Kastelik in that situation really ignited the team. They were really impressed by it. It motivated them, and like I said, they came back twice to tie the game and to force overtime and eventually the shootout. So, they didn't win the fight necessarily, like I said, but when you see the fight in the replay and then you see everybody's reactions, you see that the Red Wings just needed that little moment to turn on a dime and maybe steer themselves in a different direction. And you're in the midst of a 3-game losing streak, looking at at least four regulation losses, and this fight happens where your guy, out-heightened and outweighed by this big old Mark Kastelik and takes him on, doesn't win the fight. Still, it's like a moment that the Red Wings may reflect upon if they go on a tear as the thing that flipped the switch for them, maybe gets them over the hump. So those are the moments of aspiration that I have in recounting Saturday's shootout loss to the Bruins. So that leads us to this show's rendition of No Cap Recap. Now it's going to be the same subject, but 3 different people discussing it. Now in the No Cap Recap, in case you've never watched the show before, what I'll do is I'll take a post-game press conference moment, read it, and then I'll throw it into the AI slang translator and reread it through the eyes and mouths of bots that represent Gen Z and the future of our world. So going to Mo post Saturday's game, they were asking him about his fight with Mark Kastelik, and he says, obviously a very tough guy, but I think we just needed a little bit of a spark. I think we sometimes get pushed around a little bit. Sometimes you just need to answer. It doesn't matter the outcome, just got to show face and be ready for it. Now, throwing that into the AI translator, he's clearly a real hard A, but I think we just need a little something. Feels like we get punked sometimes. You just got to clap back, Ain't about the W or L. Just got to run up and be game. Now, Larks also had a moment to express his appreciation for Mo in his post-game press conference. So this is what Larks had to say about it. That's important that we stuck together. Great for Mo to stick up for himself. That's a tough customer he took on. He did really well. Let's throw that one into the translator. It's crucial we stay tight. Mad props to Mo for standing his ground. That dude he faced was no joke. For real, for real. He killed it, though. And, of course, my favorite figure on the Red Wings to quote for No Cap Recap, Todd McClellan. It was good for Mo. and good for our team to stand our ground. He did a real good job. It was crucial we stayed tight. Props to Mo for standing his ground. Dude's a hard A he went up against. He killed it, though. Now, the consensus in the AI translator is he killed it, though. Now, that's coming from Larks and coming from the coach McClellan. Now, folks, before we send the Red Wings off on this 6-game road trip, let's hope for a win tonight at Little Caesars Arena against this, let's hope, new rival for a season in the Bruins. I would just love to circle the BOS, those 2 remaining games on the schedule, and cancel all my reservations for that day, whatever it is and whenever it is, because we may be looking at a little bit of a dogfight tonight. So this has been Red Wings Daily. If you like it, please click like and please subscribe. Thanks for following. This is presented to you by FanArch. I'm your host, Kirk MckNight, and LGRW from the PNW.